Okay. Okay. Remove the echo. The fourth day will be about creating a cloud function for the website of Budget Pilot to do this function, join the waiting list. So what they're gonna do is going to write in the database, so the database being Firestore database, and enter with the email, send an email to whoever subscribed with a confirmation message. So here I have the README. With some random notes. Manually check authentication ID. Here is Python install Python and gcloud SDK, correct. And what we're going to do now is work on join the waiting list function. Join the waiting list. So I don't know if this is even a form now. It looks like it is. One will be a validate email. If the email is valid, send write to Firestore. Join write to Firestore email. Then we need to write timestamp and if it was validated or just validated, a Boolean field, and send an email. Send confirmation email with a link. So the link must have some sort of code. So that would be code, confirmation code, secret code, how do you call it? Mosquito. Anyway, confirmation code. Yeah. Let's use a long name. And then we need some when clicked update validated to true. Okay, is the audio working? Yes. Okay, that's good. Yeah, that's the thing. So I also created. I'm about to create a repository in GitHub to put this code. The Git repository is already created locally, but not on GitHub. So let's call it Budget Web. This is the website for Budget Web. So Budget Pilot website. Private. No readme. No license, no Git ignore. Just create the repository. Okay. So now we already done all of this. We just have to add the remote. I'm not sure what branch-m does. Add the origin. Okay, we add the remote with the name origin. It's fine. But why are you working tree clean? I just changed readme. I didn't save it. Okay, that makes sense. What does git branch-m do? -m. Let's go to Copilot. What does -m do in the following command? it's used to rename a Git branch, forcing to rename if it's necessary. So my branch is already called my main, so I don't need to rename, I think. Okay. Transitioning master to main. Man, git -m. Not even there. Why is it not there? Because it's man git branch. Yeah, -m. With an M or -m option, old branch will be renamed to new branch. If old branch had a corresponding reflog, what is a reflog? This is renamed to match new branch, and the reflog entry is created. Oh, ref log. Okay, I understand how to read it now, which is progress. But what is a ref log? Reference log. What is ref log in the context of Git? Git the ref log, reference log, is a local history of changing to the updated Git ref log. Okay, so obviously I have a ref log. Let's go to check again what is said now that we know. So some history in more simpler terms. Okay, so we don't need to rename. What is the next command? Well, we want to push. -u is with follow. Okay, so once we pushed, we will have a repository here. Okay, that's great. So the next step will be to I have this function, it's called index.ts. Obviously, that was when it was just a hello world. I think index is not a special name at all. It's not like an entry point like in HTML. So we better rename it to something more sensible. And the function hello world also should be renamed to something more sensible. So this is the function that is called when someone clicks submits the form join the waiting list. So we should call it something around those lines. Join list. But the other one is join as a test. So maybe we can remove the word join and just call it waiting list. Now, what is the naming convention for TypeScript files? Is it hyphen or is it camel cases? Or something else like underscores? What is the naming convention for TypeScript files? Use camel case or kebab case, preferring many projects. Keep file name description ensured, avoid spaces, use hyphen or underscores. React pastel case, utility files. Seems There are three totally different conventions. What a mess, man. Mhm. Stick to a single convention. It looks like a camel case should be, because if any point there is any reactor. Mm. Yeah, let's use camel case. My decision. So waiting list, or what is called Pascal case. So this function, instead of hello world, it will be called waiting list. Oh, why suddenly? There are suggestions which we don't take. Okay. So when I wrote some notes when we validate the email. So the first thing to do actually would be to test calling that function from the form. Right. So here I created some random stuff. We can delete it later. Functions. The hello world function can be deleted. This will delete the logs and automatically, I think. But what else will remain? We remain the deployment code, maybe, but that we don't care. Let's delete it. Actually, let's not delete it, because I want to see if I now deploy the same function with a new name, which is called waiting list. Will the old function be removed or kept? I guess it will be kept, but I don't know. So we're gonna do Firebase deploy only functions. Let's go to see the readme. Firebase deploy only functions. Deploy all the function, which is just one. It's now called waiting list, and there is no change. Unfortunately, this deployment looks like it normally takes quite a long time. Let's see if that's the case also this time. Seems to go faster. Let's see if it's gonna grind to a halt anytime soon. Yeah, that seems to, that's where it's slow. Okay, so the other thing I was doing while I wait, it was to read the documentation about Google Cloud Function. I was just going through the introduction yesterday. Key capability integrates Firebase features and connect Firebase with Google Cloud. The functions you write can respond to events generated by various Firebase and Google Cloud features, from Firebase authentication trigger to cloud storage triggers. Integrate across Firebase features using the admin SDK together with Cloud Functions, and integrate with third-party services by writing your own webhooks. Okay. Cloud Function minimize boilerplate code, making it easier. Okay. Zero maintenance. Deploy your JavaScript, TypeScript, or Python code to your service with one command from the command line. After that, Firebase will scale up computing resources. I already read this yesterday. Okay. Keep your logic private or and secure. In many cases, developer, blah, blah. Okay, got it. How does it work? After you write and deploy a function, yeah, if it totally worked, Google service begin to manage the function immediately. You can fire the function directly with an HTTP request, the admin SDK, or a scheduled job. Or in case of a background function, Google service listen for events and run the function when it's triggered. So by the way, so the function itself, we don't need these nodes now, okay? The function itself is located, we don't need this now. It's not even there yet, but it would be located in the same server of hello world. So how do we call hello world? View logs, detailed usage stats. View logs seems not the way to find out. So hello world, no. We made it easy to reference key values in the log fields pane. In the log fields pane, allowing for quick querying and analysis. Where is the log fields pane? Fields, probably this one. So you made it easy to do what? To do queries on those? How? I just saw severity. I don't have enough fields, perhaps. This is system metadata and JSON payload. Nothing. Okay. Well, right. So here we don't know how to call the function yet, but it will tell later once it's deployed. So let's wait for that. Let's go on reading. After you write and deploy a function, Google servers begin to manage the function immediately. You can fire the function directly with an HTTP request, the admin SDK, or a scheduled job, or in case of background functions, Google servers listen for events and run the function when it's triggered. As the load increases or decreases, Google responds by rapidly scaling the number of virtual service instances needed to run your function. Each function runs in isolation, its own environment within its own configuration. Life cycle of a background function. You write code for a new function, selecting an event provider such as Cloud Firestore, and defining the conditions under which the function should execute. Okay. In our case, the event provider is HTTP. The Firestore CLI creates a zip archive of the function code when uploaded to a cloud storage bucket prefixed with the GFC sources, which is then uploaded to that bucket before Cloud Function creates an artifact registry in your project repository named GFC artifacts. So these is just buckets. So this is Google Cloud. As I go, or I can go here in Firebase. I don't understand very much the overlap between Google Cloud and Firebase. Is Firebase a skin over Google Cloud? It's surely using Google Cloud, but is adding something to it more than a skin. Anyway, in here we have something like the storage, in which category will be build, data connect extension, Firestore function, host, storage. Okay. So in storage, we should have the buckets. Instead, there is nothing. Okay. It looks like there is nothing. Let's see if I... Otherwise, I wouldn't get this welcome screen. So if I go instead here and I do storage in the cloud, Google Cloud, I see cloud storage and I don't see buckets. Okay. So they are not normal buckets, but if I do that one, I just saw GCP sources, artifact registry. Aha. Now I have this that I thought it was just a bug, but apparently it's a little bit different. Maybe it's a bucket with something more, but it's just not showing there. It has two files, one hello world and a cache. Hello world updated 6 minutes ago. Updating function hello world. Why is it updating the function hello world? Because they rename it to waiting list. Is this because I had to build and I didn't? I have also waiting list. Is this because I didn't clean? Because now here I have an index with hello world, so it looks like it wasn't clean, which is annoying because now I'll have to do it again. We'll have a lot of time to read. And then there is another registry which is called, one is artifact registry, and the other is the container registry. The container registry has only this artifact. So where is the source code? Source repositories? Maybe it's not the one. I thought it was a container. Open cloud source repositories. I don't know. That's not what I was looking for. Container registry, container, that's the one I just opened. Cloud Run, container analysis, custom container, container scanning, container registry. There are two container registry with two different icons, same name, different subtitle. That's really confusing. Fast private Docker image storage on Google Cloud Platform. And the other one, didn't they agree on the product name, make them unique? Then registry, what's the other one? The first one I showed. Okay, so it's container registry now. Alright, and now it says artifact registry. So that's really confusing because there seems now it changed the name was container registry, and a second after it changed to artifact registry. So let's try to understand this. The Firebase CLI creates a zip in a cloud storage bucket. It says cloud storage bucket. Why I can't see any cloud storage bucket? Prefixed with, where is it now? Alright, let's put it here. GFC sources. I already tried to do cloud storage bucket. Cloud storage and buckets. Cloud storage. Let's try the second one. Okay. Why before I went to cloud storage I couldn't see? Let me try again. If I go dark mode, the public review is now available for certain products. That would be awkward. That's only for certain products. Go back and forth between dark and bright mode. So go, this was called storage bucket. Okay, so I go to cloud storage. Ah, right. I have all this thing. What I missed before is this recently visit. And here I have the function view bucket list. So I have a bucket for sources, hello world, and the buckets for uploads, which has non-intelligible names. Mm. Right, so we have these two buckets, and we have the artifact registry, which looks like a bucket, but it's a bucket plus with some other functions, and it does not show in the bucket list. Okay, so this deployment is finally ready, but what it actually did, it deployed my hello world. But it did also deploy the other function. The other function being called waiting list. So we got a URL for, we have a project console. What is that for? Ah, the whole project, yeah, in Firebase. Then I go functions, and there is only hello world. Somehow the other function was not created, even though it's just here, even built. Allora, let's see the package JSON. We have, do we have a clean lint format deploy? We have a build npm run build, which should be run from the functions folder. Npm run build without it. Okay. We run the build and not clean. Okay. Here we are using the base model. Okay, let's try with that first. So I'm gonna ask my package JSON, my package.json includes a build function, but not a clean function. Shall I add it? Yes, I think scheme has great practice. Yeah, it's kind of broken without. Yeah, it looks good. That's what I want. It deletes everything in lib. Okay, so now if I do npm run clean, we'll delete the lib folder. Okay, it's gone. Now if I do npm run build, it creates back the lead folder, but now there is not anymore the hello world function, but there is only the waiting list function with the map there. Okay. So what else does it say? Yep, do that, just do that. We updated the build script to add the clean. I think that's a good idea too. Let's do that. Oh, there was here. Yep. Clean builds every time. Okay. So now I try to deploy once more. I think it will not deploy anything because it seems that what I thought index ts to be a special, not a special name, or maybe it is. Let's see what happens. Right, it is a special name. So we have to figure out that. That's why I deployed only the hello world. I totally ignored the other one. Allora, what's the significance? Okay. This deploy we've done was just okay. Let's copy the error and then tell what's the significance of index JS or index TS for Firebase Cloud Functions, and what if I want to deploy several functions, each on their separate files, while I want to keep index TS mostly empty, maybe just with reference to the other files. Let's see that. So that's many things to understand before we do just the basic steps. Firebase Cloud Functions look for index.ts or JS as a default entry point. Here is how to organize multiple functions across the. Keep index.ts as a barrel file. What is a barrel file? Yeah, like a holder. Okay. The re-exports function from another modules. Okay. So let's add back index.ts. And the only thing I will get is some import or export. Relative import path need explicit file extension. Okay, it's no problem. So what's wrong now? An import path can only end with a TS extension. So it's like, let's go back. It's saying relative import path need explicit file extensions in extra script import when the model resolution is not 16. Did you mean JS? No, I did not mean JS. See, this error occurs because you're using Node.js module resolution with ECMAScript modules, which require explicit file extension import statement. Let me check configuration and file to fix this. First, let me look at your TypeScript configuration and the import statement in question. Let me check the import statement in your index.ts file. The error occurs because you are using model resolution node next in tsconfig JSON, which enforce strict ECMAScript model rules. In ASM, ECMAScript strict model rules, I suppose, you need to include a file extension. Here is how to fix. For TypeScript files, you should use the JSim, because TypeScript will compile to the file in JavaScript, and we look for JS at runtime. That's really annoying and weird. Call it a leak in abstraction. That's awful, awful. That's disgusting. You shouldn't see import something, export something that happens next. That's awful. Anyway, I'll get over it. So if it's how it should be, let's do it this way. TypeScript, yeah, I understand. Okay. So now we import the waiting list. Index.ts is just getting a list of all the functions. We just have one function now. So if I do again deploy only functions, it will slowly deploy waiting list. And it will probably leave hello world, which should be deleted by hand, but we'll figure out once that's done. So going back to reading documentation. Life cycle of a background function. You write code for a new function selecting an event provider such as Cloud Firestore and defining the condition. Okay, I read that maybe 20 times. And we check all these buckets. Retrieves the function code. The container image for the built functions code is uploaded to private artifact registry, and the new function is rolled out when the event provider generates an event. So this is runtime. The code is invoked. It's a function. If the function is busy handling main events, we will create more instances to handle the work faster. If the function is idle, instances are cleaned up. Okay. When you update a function by deploying updated code, instances for older versions are cleaned up when you update the function. But does it mean it will clean up hello world? Yeah, look at that. It does. The following functions are found in your project but do not exist in your local source code. If you are renaming a function or changing its region, it's recommended to create a new function first before deleting the old one to prevent event loss. Would you like to proceed with the deletion? Hell yes. That was just a test function. So now it begs the question, and now creating waiting list, that's fantastic. So now begs the question, when we ran this, how do we run it in batch mode? How to run the following command in batch mode. It should not ask any questions in the terminal. For instance, if I run it from a Google action script. In non-interactive mode, here is you can do non-interactive. Did you just make that up? Okay, so suppose no, we will test it. Let's add this note where I said this only functions non-interactive. This flag will prevent CLI from asking for confirmation. Use default answer for any new prompts. So that's bad because that default answer was a no, not delete. I want the default answer to delete perhaps. If you're running this in a CI/CD pipeline, you might also want to add additional flags. Token, Firebase token. Right. This will give you a token. That's really interesting. So because the token I don't need it when running on the command line because the suggestion was the same because is stored in some configuration file. Okay. By the way, yeah, we can run this function, this command to run to get the list of functions. We should get only one function, which is our waiting list function. Okay, looks good. Now, as this was deployed, it should have told me how to invoke it. Oh, but I don't see it easily. Let's go back here and we go functions. Now we should only see my waiting list function. Express yourself. Okay. View logs, delete function, detail usage stats. Okay. That is the URL. But it's only on here, and how do I even copy it? Okay, it looks like I can. So now if I execute that, okay, it creates documents in Firestore exactly like before, nothing special. But what I want to do now is call it from my web form, and there will be a permission problem due to the course rules, but that's okay. Let's do one at a time. First, I want to just call it, see the course error. So, okay, this is my URL. Will it stay consistent? I had a better looking URL before with a project name. Why now I have a bad looking one? Is any other name thrown about? Okay, doesn't look like. For now, it's fine. So what I'm gonna do is go to check my website, which is here in public, index.html, and I have that form, join the waiting list. Is this a form at all, by the way? No, it's not. But it probably shouldn't be a form. Do we need a post or a get for sending the email? Okay. Yeah, because we should accept the email address too. Allora, to post an email address, I already said the word post, which is biasing to transfer an email address from my these are the button on the top of the class, which we'll do later. On the top bar. This is the form from the form, the waiting form. Is it better to from waiting form to do you call it server script backend to the backend at the URL that should I use get or post? Yeah, I was supposing I should use post. But did it say encrypted at all, by the way? What was the URL? Yes, it's encrypted. Okay, that's good. Data modification, you create a new record in the waiting list, which is a non-idempotent operation. Makes sense. Data sensitivity, even though it's just an email, it's still personal. It shouldn't be exposed in the URL or server logs. Semantics. Yep. Okay, so wow, if I do that, so it will go to the new page and I don't want to do that. But let's do one thing at a time. So one is I will accept the suggestion. Action. Oh, that's just action. And we copy the URL. Okay. npm run format. I thought I had it, but I don't. Yeah, we need to configure. Can we have two packages? We have one for functions. Should this package be in public? Probably not. Should I do another folder web? Ah, add the name email to identify the input. Name email. Type email, yeah, makes sense. And name email, yep. Placeholder, enter your email. Required, good idea. All good suggestions. So I had to format Option Shift F. Doesn't seem to do anything. Option Command F, no. Option Shift F. Oh, this match your expected behavior, okay. Alright, so we got that. Now, how now can I have a package JSON? Package.json in the top folder in addition to functions package JSON. So let's say something more. The reason I want that to format and validate HTML in the public folder in addition to a functions package JSON, or should I create a web folder so that the two packages are not, so that one package JSON is not the parent of the other. One package JSON is not in the parent folder of another package JSON. I guess it's quite a complicated way to express the thought. Let's see what it. Yeah, two good options, but I recommend. Where were we? You have two good options, but I recommend the second one for better. Works, but it's not ideal. Yeah, that's what I thought. That's good. You can have a package JSON in the root folder, but this can lead to confusion with the functions package JSON and potential dependency conflicts. Option 2, create a web folder. Recommended is a cleaner approach. Move the public folder into the web folder, package a front-end package JSON in this web folder, update Firebase configuration to point to web public. Okay. Step 2. Okay. Yeah. So let's do this little reorganization. We need to create a folder. Not there. So how do we even select the top folder? I think we have to select any of the files. That's weird because I can't select the top node, okay, which would be like the most obvious choice. It's still creating public. Allora, I select the readme, new folder. Okay, web. So now I move public inside web. Are you sure you want to move public inside web? Yes. Right. And now here I create in web, which I have only public, I can create my package JSON npm init-y. Okay, that's a very simple one. Update the Firebase JSON to public of the new path. Yeah, that's the one. Hold on. Hosting public web public. Okay. Add the scripts to the new package JSON. All right, I'm happy with that. I want those two, yes. That's not the right package. Yes, this is the one. No tests. Oh, no. I have to copy here. Okay, at the comma. Okay, so if I go, I'm in web now, and I say npm run format. Wait a second, before maybe format creates some problem, let's commit. Ooh, because yeah, it's quite a bit of a changes. Well, if we add the web, we should have some rename instead of delete it. That didn't seem to work. Maybe we have to add the public as well. Okay, now we go as rename. Okay. Okay. Created web folder. Push origin main. Okay, now we can try the validation and we can try the formatting. And we go to web npm run format. Prettier command of course. Yeah, we need to install it. npm install prettier. npm install prettier. There you go. Let's try again the format. Okay, so something happened. Git diff. We added prettier. Change the case here. Okay. And wait a second, I didn't know I had inline styling. Did I? Oh yeah, because that's the 404 which I didn't write. Okay, that's quite a lot of changes. npm run validate html validate command not found. npm install html validate. Try again. Boom. Okay. So we have in 404 just a 4, just a few errors. Doc types should not be uppercase. I thought that was should be uppercase. That was something that was fixed by the format. That's annoying. So if I go in web public 404 and I put the doc type uppercase as you would like, and then I do validate, the error is fixed inside there. We can fix meta as well. And now we run format. npm, let's write it. Run format. And now 404. Yeah, meta became self-closing. Okay. So we have conflicting styles. Allora, we need a pretty configuration. Okay. How do I create a prettier configuration for HTML to have doc type formatted in uppercase and have meta tags as not self-closing? And these are just two of the problems. There might be more, but let's start with this. Ask for more as needed. Print width 80 is a bit small, but I can change it. By the way, because I'm doing this on Twitch with a lower resolution, maybe 80 is okay. Let's have a look. Here is 75. Yeah, might want to keep 80. So slowly go back here. Let's apply. Let's create a prettier configuration. I will just apply because I don't have a configuration. Okay, so accept. Object is duplicated. That can't be right, of course. So we'll check what that means. Let's check the rest first. Tab with 2. Perhaps 1, 4 for HTML. Use tabs false, same is true. That's probably JavaScript. Trailing comma ES5, HTML white space sensitivity. Oh my god, how many times we have that? CSS. Allora, prettier. What does it mean? CSS strict or ignore. CSS respect the default value of CSS display property. For handlebars, treated the same as strict. White space around the tags and ignore. Okay. So I don't know what that means in the options, like overriding. Let's get rid of, or HTML, okay. Ignore for HTML and then CSS here. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. So now HTML self-closing tags false. Okay, can we have a semicolon? No, comma, no, we can't there. Okay, so let's try again. First npm run format. Ignore unknown option. SSTI, right? Oh, by the way, there was more. Update your package JSON to include prettier and the necessary scripts. So it was just already done. Format check. Okay. That's interesting. So we can do a check without running the formatting. So see what's different. Which is interesting when we change the option. So npm run format check. Oh yeah, there was that. So boom, there is a lot more yeah. So what's going on here? I noticed the warning about HTML, this option specific to plugin HTML package, and this not available in the default format. Okay, okay. I was sneaky. Okay, so we need to install the plugin and change the configuration. How? Okay, so we want to do before applying that configuration is committing the progress so far. So we can check the diff. So I want to do that, insert in terminal. Okay, looks good. I like that. I like more insert in terminal than, but it doesn't work. Okay. Plugin HTML. So we have another problem. Is not the correct package. Ah, yeah, it's in the updated approach. Update prettier RC. Built in. So she basically totally changed his mind compared to the first time. And the microphone is down there. Okay. Update prettier C. So now we have 0 changes. That's good. So apply these changes. Print width to 100. Yeah, no, for HTML it can be a pain to have 80, but let's leave it 80 for now. HTML white spacing sensitivity. Ignore. And we accept that. Oh, we removed all of that, right? Didn't we? Prettier built-in, which automatically format the doc in type in uppercase. I kind of don't believe it, but let's see. Let's see. So here 404 doc type is currently in lowercase. I save this file. Why is save? Oh, oop. Remove ampersand. npm run check format check. Everything matches style, so that doesn't work. npm run format unchanged. For non-self-closing tags, you can use HTML comments to preserve their formats. Oh, that's so painful. No, there is. If you need more control over HTML formatting, you might consider to use the dedicated HTML formatter like JS Beautifier or HTML Validate in combination with Prettier. Yes, yes, yes. So, but Validate, does it format? And JS Beautify, does it format HTML? To format. Oh, that's a huge rabbit hole. Yeah, the word says they focus on validation. Okay, so it's about a little more than 1 hour I've been going, so let's have a coffee break. Coffee break, need just a few minutes. Good timing. I got my coffee. So let's go on. All right. So don't know why is said to use JS Beautify, but why is it JS Beautify? JS sounds like JavaScript. Okay, let's have a look at JS Beautify. This is online JavaScript beautifier. Okay, that's not right. But the package npm JavaScript. But it shouldn't be HTML, beautify. npm prettify. Allora, let's try to ask here. What are commonly used HTML beautifiers for npm? Well, not quite for npm, but okay. JS Beautify is one of the most popular. Okay. Let's start with the JS Beautify. Let's get rid of prettier because the only thing we have here is HTML. So I don't see why I should keep it. If we need it, we'll add later. Add it back later. Okay, so now we also need to go to, let's close everything. We also need to go to the package JSON and remove prettier. And these two commands that use prettier don't make sense anymore. npm update, I suppose? No. Parsing error. Okay. What's the parsing error? Expected double quote property name position 251, line 14, column 3. Oh, okay. There is update. Okay. Yes. Show me how to set up JS Beautify to produce validatable code HTML to format. Well, let's keep it simple. We will see how the various issues later. Let's start just format. So we need to add the script. We need to add the dependency. Well, it's installing like this as 1.14.9. Let's do instead with npm install JS Beautify. And yeah, we get a slightly newer version. I don't know if it's slightly, but it could be like years after, for what I know. So now we got format was added. Very good. This index.js makes no sense because I don't have any JavaScript file. We'll tackle that later. Let's create a JS Beautify RC configuration file in your project. Your root, okay. My project root is not really my root, but is here. .js beaut. Oh, you know what? Let's copy it so we don't make a mistake. Oof, what did he copy? JS beautify RC beautify. Yeah, there I put an I and a Y, and there is only a Y instead. Let's try again to copy it. Paste it here. Yeah, that worked. So let's rename the file to the correct name. If I don't have the correct name, it will be like a pain to see things not work without understanding why. So let's copy the file. Ah, I could have done apply. Okay. Accept. Indent sign for charter is space. Max per 7091. Okay. I'll give a quick look, but basically, I would say that until we don't see any problem with it, we keep the default suggested here. Okay. After applying these changes, install the dependencies, which I just done. I done already, but let's do it once more. Now you can format your HTML. Okay. Yep. Right. So what I want to do is commit to have trying or using JS beautify. Beautifier, what's the name? Beautify. Oof. I forgot to close the quote. Okay. It's okay. So now no changes. Oh yes, there is a change. The file. Commit -m JS beautify. No. JS beautify config. Okay. npm run format. We are in the web format folder. Okay. So something happened. Let's see what happened. Oof. Okay. Quite a lot, but we still have the problem that the original problem. Let's see if it's now more customizable. That doc type should be uppercase. Meta type should not have the endings. Okay. How do I change JS beautify config to have uppercase doc type? That's one question at a time. Why is showing me so many changes? Is it one change or what? We did a lot of other stuff that is not even related because I didn't have a JS and a CSS option, which I don't care at all. That might be it. It's in the HTML section. We never apply these things. It just creates a lot of mess. I want to change one thing at a time, not 500. Extra liners, then he added this indent scripts, which was there. I just changed the position. Anyway, let's try that. And when I go to check here, okay, should HTML be uppercase? Well, the validator will say that. Let's see if this option works at all first. Unchanged. Oh, that's bad. Let's try a web search instead of a different AI. Start with a web search. Uppercase, doc type. After beautification, a string replacement. Well, that's messy, man. Ooh, that is messy. Right, so doc type is case insensitive. Mhm. So are we just trying to make HTML validator happy? Because now I'm saying, oh, how to make doc type. This option was invented by the AI, by the way, it looks like. Or maybe it exists. Let's see if it does exist, but it doesn't respect the case. So if I say HTML5, just for example, no, it doesn't do anything. So let's remove this option. And what I'm thinking now, I might try to make the validator happy for something that doesn't matter. So should I have some options to the validator to say, hey, allow lowercase doc type. So npm run validate, change totally approach. It says doc type should uppercase. Okay. HTML validate says doc type should be uppercase. However, doc type can be any case, including lowercase. Can I configure HTML validate to accept or even enforce, but let's say just accept lowercase doc type. So by the way, in the meantime, let's check some source code. Every page should have a doc type, uppercase doc type, lowercase HTML. If I go to Google itself, maybe not Google Maps, but you know, even that as a source, same. And if I want to go to the Google search engine, we probably also have exact same. Okay. So what does it say? Yes, you configure HTML validate to accept load case HTML validate JSON. In your project root, here is how you set it up. First, create a new file called HTML validation. Recommended style any. Accept. I really want to have a style lowercase, but I don't know. HTML validate. Tell me more about this doc type style rule, if it even exists. We don't know if the AI is hallucinating or not. What I really wanted is lowercase. lowercase. Okay, instead of any, let's say lowercase. Okay. After creating this file, I should accept any case, blah, blah, blah. Okay, we're gonna change run validate. So this is saved. This we don't care now. Okay. npm run validate, which is defined in package JSON. Now it doesn't have anymore the error for doc type, and the doc type can be lowercase. Perfect. That's okay. So now for meta link in the MG, how to change it's called JS Beautify configuration. So that was done successfully. To have meta link emg input, anything else, and hr without self closing tags. HR and potentially other tags. Okay. To configure on seven for elements like HTML, you need to update JS Beautify RC configuration. Here is how. The diff is really unclear. Okay. Instead of this configuration will not work for HTML5 void elements. Okay. So what's the change? What's the change? Indenture, this all same. +3 -1. Why I can't see the diff? Allora, let's see here. Git commit hyphen. Dunque, git add HTML validate. Git commit hyphen im. Dated. Oh, don't have a good commit message. Okay. Now we are clear. And now we apply this. And, oh, here you go. Now we can see. Incorrect type, expected array. Each TLM, so that's a spelling error there. Okay, so now we have a clue to gonna check JS Beautify void elements and see how it should be configured. Configuration or config. HTML elements. Okay, okay. So that's how it looks like. So an array with all the names that we need. So let's check the configuration again. Yeah, it looks good. And what's void element extra? Do we need that at all? Mens extra doesn't exist at all. Okay, let's get rid of this. So we were talking about meta link. We wrote the list here. Meta link emg. Yeah, br emg input. We are not using it, but let's add it. I might use it later. and HR. Okay. That's it. There might be more, but for now, that's all I need. npm run format. Let's see the difference. That's bad. I still see it there. It's indenting HTML. What's going on? It's 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 indenting HTML, makes no sense. But anyway, it's not the main problem. And Meta is still whoa. Oh, that's bad. Void elements doesn't work. Not in this way. How come the only difference to this configuration was adding that void elements? That didn't work, and it also caused problem to the rest of the format. How is it possible? So if I open index.html, now HTML is indented correctly on the same level of doc type. Extra line, if I add void elements, how is it even possible? It's now indented HTML. I added the void elements to JS. We might try to change the model. Beautify be how to spell it? Beautify RC with a list of elements. I want to be void, but want to be not self-closing. However, that is so weird. So it's also adding a tab? Those elements are still self-closing and tabs were added instead of spaces. Oh, that's really weird. That is doesn't make sense. The void element setting does the opposite of what you want. Should be self-closing to get the desired behavior to an empty array. Oh, okay. Gotcha. And ensure you're using spaces for indentation. Here is the correct configuration. Indent with tabs. Indent with tabs false. I didn't have that. Right. should I apply? All right, so let's revert the changes to JS Beautifier. See, so now I can apply this and check the diff. The accept and reject is above the text, so I can't even look. And also it's wrong. I don't know. It's removing. That makes no sense unless this is done in 2 times. Accept. This makes no sense. Forgot the last line, which was the whole point. So I started back, and also the first line saying the one about tabs, indent with tabs, not there, indent. It was a disaster. Indent with tabs, if that option even works. False. Okay, let's try npm run format, see what happens. Unchanged. That's a bad sign. That's really bad. Well, it doesn't work. It didn't work at all. Let's start the lazy comments. Just say it didn't work. Figure that out. Ah, specifically for HTML. I had already, by the way. And with new line, indent handlebars, then scripts, unformatted. Wrap line length, wrap attributes. Yeah, avoid elements like this is not even corrected. Let's change model. So let's go. All right, let's get a better model. So not thinking. No, all right. Delete the chat. No, how do we delete the chat? All right, it's new conversation. Exit. In the meantime, my tablet died. All right, good. So what we're doing. Ah, yeah. So this doesn't work at all. Let's remove it. So let's do again a commit of the present situation. And now we're gonna say npm run format just to check the current situation. Yeah, so it did some changes. Okay, and now we ask npm validate run npm run validate. How do change the existing JS beautify RC JS, no, just call it JS beautify RC configuration to format tags like meta, link, input, br, hr, emg, meta, link, input hr as with the omitted end tag instead of self-closing elements. Let's see what Sonnet is doing. We just lost a lot of time with simpler mode. Okay, I modify configuration to format HTML tags, blah, blah, blah. To achieve this, I need to add the void elements property, that's what we were playing with, and set it to false. All right, I don't trust this, but oh, not false, but to an empty array. That's what we tried before, didn't work. Let's try first. Okay, so there is some changes. Let's double check. Didn't work. Oh, and it became worse because of this tabs indentation. Is this JS Beautify broken? It looks like it is for me. Because this change doesn't make any sense. I'm about to give up on this tool and try something else. Meta link input empty array. Yeah, that is the error you introduced it and then you fix. Okay. All right. That didn't work. Also introduced. Well, just keep it simple. I was saying about the tabs, but let's keep it simple. See, didn't work. Let me try a different approach. We need a different property to control how elements are formatted. Unformatted content delimiter. But then there is this called end with slash. Okay. Let's try that. Oh, there is more. Let's see what happened first. That didn't work, but there is more changes. That didn't work. I see in the package there is a next flag. Ah, what is that flag? JS beautify flags. No, that's lowercase x. The code pointer chart. That is. Ah, no, it's this. Pass XML literal. Oh, no. Yes, I see the just verify help output doesn't explicitly show an option avoid elements are formatted. Help, yeah, he's doing some research. Well, it looks like we have a problem with this. Based on my research, the configuration option is likely to be related to HTML, but then formatted. What is this? Go back to type HTML, not preserve new lines. That seems unrelated. It's doing a lot of stuff, but none of it makes sense. None of it makes sense. I think let's do a web search. Let's see with that. How to not put space, how to prettier from using the old self-closing syntax. It wasn't prettier. Which are we going back to prettier? This is so painful. It can be changed. Prettier philosophy, which is let's do the wrong thing with passion. Yeah, there's this thing called standards. So I'm at a loss because if I do now npm format, no npm run format, it's still all wrong. Well, this HTML went back there and there is no tabs. Okay. But then the beautify configuration. So JS beautify RC. Let's do. Where is this file in public? No, it's not in public. Where is this JS beautifier? See. Oh, it should be in web and it's not. I think that's fine. They can be in the root and still work, but it would make more sense to have them in the web folder, both of them, because I don't have any other HTML. I got a HTML validate, which I moved to web. What about, what about, why is saying wrong now? What's talking? Schema. Okay. What about the JS beautifier? See, is it in web correctly? Yes, it's there. Yeah. So in the JS beautifier, see, yeah, form. We just did it unchanged. The JS beautifier, see. So with prettier, you can't do it. With JS beautifier, see, self-closing tags. See if I can modify that. Not to put space, reading to change to explicit tags. What does it even mean, explicit tags? Ah, explicit is the with the end. Mm, not quite what I want. Preserving end tag. Mhm. Remove. XML. Do not use self-closing tags. Prime React. What's his opinion? We don't know, but we don't care. He's a buffoon. I mean, it's good, but not for entertainment purposes. It's good, but not necessarily for uh, opinions. So I am totally lost. Let's just say options. Hmm. Allowed file extension, brace style, and a new line indent handlebars, indent inner HTML, indent script, indent size. Allora. How to configure JS Beautifier? See from JS Beautify package, npm package. To not, let's just talk about meta for now. To now add a self-closing tag for meta. unformatted. That's really no. That would work. I can see how that would work. I can see how that would work, but can unformatted meta JS beautify actually actively remove self-closing tag for elements like meta, link, input, emga, hr, and so on. No, pretty doesn't work. So, okay, let's take the suggestion about not formatting the tags and fixing them myself so we can move on. So if that works, we still have to see if that works. Oh, there was that. And what does it mean that? That didn't work. So let's try unformat. Unformatted is still there. Okay. So we add meta to this list. See how that works. Okay. So now npm run format should not do anything particular. Okay, that comma to be removed. Npm run format. Okay, unchanged, perfect. But now let's try to remove the tag and see what happens if it put it back or not. Yeah, it looks good. So now we can fix that too and go close the AI that was rubbish. We can remove that. We just have to add link to the unchanged. Please don't change link as well. So if we do now npm run validate, let's see the progress. We have 18 problems. Okay. I didn't save the file. Let's run it again. We have now 16 problems. Well, yes, we also want to run format. Let's remove a few more. Now we run format, unchanged, and validate with 12 problems. Okay. So let's start with the 404, which is, you just have a couple of meta, then that file is done. By the way, the AI helped me there. And now validate has just 10 errors. Doc type shouldn't be uppercase. In index HTML, but it isn't. Should be uppercase. Now why that came back already? I did it before. That was something I fixed before. Now that came back. Allora, let's see status. Yep, HTML validate did change. Completely. Why is that? I think check out, give me the old configuration, please. I will take it any day of the week. But that didn't work. Oh God. Now we lost it. Oh, no, no, no. I don't know. It's good. Uh, I was blind, or it took some time to update. I'm not sure, but now it looks good. So npm run validate. So we're almost there. Okay, we have some image tags to double check. One, unfortunately, we have to do them by hand. We can use the AI. Okay, let's do a diff again. No diff, validate. Okay, we got an input on that line. We can click 98. I thought it was 98. No, the line is 37. 37. Remove self-closing tag. That's good. And then EMG line 113. Okay. And again here. Can delete it myself. And then we got an HR somewhere. And that closing angle bracket on its own line is really weird. I want to change it. But let's first make it validate. Look for HR. Okay. Well, that's still wrong. One error only. EMG line 142, which is in this. Yeah. Now we can validate. We have valid HTML. That's great. So this was the formatter. Let's ask here. Okay. How to change .html, no, JS, beautify, let's call it JS, beautify configuration to not put the closing angle bracket of HTML tags on a new line. Wrap attributes auto. It's already that. Preserve new lines auto. Whatever that means. Yeah, put the quotes on it. That doesn't look like it's happy about. Expected boolean. Wrap attributes auto. Okay, first I'm not sure I applied it correctly. Wrap attributes will end with a new line false. Why is this even related? And the new line false. Yeah. Try false. Okay. npm run format. Unchanged, so that doesn't work. Let's try false. Wrap attributes. False. False. And it doesn't work, no. I guess this is a problem only for very long lines. Okay, I think I can leave with that. Let's go back to auto. Okay, so now we have a valid configuration. Let's add everything and commit. That was just to validate HTML and have a formatter. Okay, and we put that in a web folder. Okay, so it's some progress. Now going back to the form. Okay, we have post. Okay, so now when I press the submit button, there should be two problems. One, the course does not allow me to actually send. Let's reload the page. Ah, okay, no. We need to be able to run this on a local web server because this is the remote app which is not updated. So let's go back to the AI, not this, but not this tab. What is this? Cascade. Yeah, that should be it. I changed the model back to Cascade and I go in chat mode and I start a new chat. Is this a new chat? No. This one chat a new chat because I'm changing the topic. And the other thing is I can see how much I'm using on my free quota. Free plan usage. Okay. I'm using that much, 87 left. So, right, how do I add a local web server to preview HTML content in public? So I don't have any kind of build at the moment. And I think I don't need one, but we will see. Okay. I will have set local server. I will add a simple local server using the live server package, which is perfect. Automatically reserve the browser. Okay. So what it does is add the live server as a dev dependency with a version 1.2.2 and then npm install. Okay. npm install in dev mode live server. And let's research also the live server package to see the credibility of it. Should be good. Public 1.2, 3 years ago. That is not good. It might be perfect, always been perfect, but maybe there is a better alternative. npm live server 5 years ago. Live servers suggested. Okay. npm live server, npm registry. If I search for live server here, why I got all broken images, by the way? Is that because of this? Or is it because it's really broken? Is live server still a good choice? Is this the chat I'm using? No, it's not. Is live server still a good choice because it was last published 3 years ago? Indeed, quite old. Let's use Byte instead, which is modern, fast, and well maintained. It's perfect for static site, instant server start, hot module reference, TypeScript support, which I don't need at the moment, optimized with active maintenance. Byte. Okay. So let's check this Byte thing. I already heard about this. Start each feature is a front-end build tool. We can try. It's more than I need though. Version 520. We have 635. How to install dev. npm install dev byte. Dev get it started. npm run dev. npm install dev dependency. How to do that? Save dev. Yeah, I remember that. npm install byte hyphen save dev. What a bad syntax. And so you should add the dev dependency section with byte 6 something. This is not updated. And I'm in the wrong folder. That's bad. That's bad. So let's remove these files. Let's go to web and do it again. Okay, now we added byte there. Looks good. So what's the next step? We got this build. What does build do? I have already static HTML files in my public folder. Since you have only static file in the static folder, you don't need to build step. The build step bundling like those with React, Vue or other framework. For your case, you just need the development service. Why is it called dev? Should it be called dev or server? npm run server, that's what I want. Okay. Let's create a minimal byte configurations file to serve your static files. Byte config. So let's create it here. New file. byte.config. No dot. Apply. Accept. Define. Okay. For 3000. Yeah. After apply the changes, you can start npm run server in my case. We insert someone allowing access by okay. Right. Yes, but it found 3000 can't be found. So how? Oh, okay. It works here, but the problem is it should serve already from the public folder. Yeah, it works, but it's not serving files from public folder. Oh, you got all this warning. So maybe it is. Ah. Yes, it is. It is. Ah. Root public. You know what? Even though that was not necessary, I think. Why is it importing result from path where it's not even needed? But yeah, I will add this anyway. Because that is more explicit. Okay. Server restarted. This still work. Okay. So the issue instead was what's the issue? Everything working now. No idea. It does work though. So now let's try the form. A form should should add something and something that looks like an email, and then there should be the course problem. Oh no, why does this not have a course problem? It went there. But now it should have a board, isn't it? Let's check the documents saved here in Firestore. How do I know what is the last document? No data provided. It should have one with some data. No, they're all no data provided for some reason. But we'll dig into that later. So when does the course configuration apply? So that's almost this byte. Wait, I have two. Wait a second. I have two byte config. What's going on? One is empty. Let's delete one. I might want to commit as well. Added byte. So 1000 insertions. Byte config. That was so big, the changes in the package lock. My goodness. So I was asking, when does the course configuration apply? So here, let's go to beautify packages. I have is the action of posted from exempt, but it's not exempt. Is that the right spelling? Yeah? Yep. JavaScript request, web fonts, WebGL, images, video frames, CSS from submissions are exempt. Oh, the encoding type we'll have to see. Is submitted normally, not via JavaScript. So I think once I change this to be submitted via JavaScript instead, I will have an issue. Yeah. So let's have a little break first. Okay. So, right. The thing is, obviously, the form like this is not okay because it's going to a new page, and instead it should display maybe something on this page, but not be moved to a new page, and that will cause the course problem, I suppose. So let's ask one thing at a time. How to prevent the form to load a new page, and how to instead well, using the base model, but this might not be enough. But and now instead to display confirmation message. Add ID to a form, add a container. Yep. Yep, that looks about right. Let's close this. I don't need this. Ooh. Add the ID to the form. Okay, that looks good. So ID waiting list. Oh, camel case or what? class. Yeah, let's use the hyphens. Waiting list form class waiting form action that prevent the default form submission. How's that done? Form method post action. Nothing here. Button type submit. That remains submit. Div ID for message. Thank you. Will be in touch soon. It's fine for now. It's within the form at this level. Display none for now. Okay. This styling we go in the style sheet, yeah, but for now. What's going on, mate? npm run format, please. Okay. Okay, so finally we got the first script. Ooh, it's big. This is where we're gonna think, are we going to go on like this, or are we going to introduce a framework like Svelte? Okay, let's go to check this script first. Yeah, is that in the listener and prevent default? Right. Is displaying the message. So shall I put this JavaScript in a file rather than in line? Okay. So we put this JavaScript in a file rather than in line. And if we do, we can link it in the head and say defer, yeah? Link JS head defer. The defer attribute. No, 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 no. All right. Yep. Right. And defer. So we're gonna do that. Well, I'm a vanilla JavaScript, no framework. Okay, let's stay with that until we can. we put it here. Is the script more important than anything else? I would say yes. So remove the slash. And we're using plain JavaScript, not TypeScript. That's reasonable because it's a small file. For now, it might change. Okay, let's get just that. And is JavaScript an asset? I am not sure. What we put in the assets folder. Okay. Okay, let's put it there then. For now, we don't have a better name. Let's get JS. Oh, that's a file. Properly formatted and everything. If I do npm run format, will it run? No, it just does HTML. Okay. How do I add the prettier to format just JavaScript and not HTML? Oof, this so many issues, yeah. Allora, calma. First, we want to install it. That makes sense. Let's check. That's what we expect. That's great. Then we create a pretty C configuration. Let's apply. It's in the right folder, isn't it? Public. No, it's not. It's not. It's not. I want it in public because I want this to be totally separate. Okay. Let's add a script to package JSON. Yeah, that makes sense. Where is it? Yeah. Ah. Form server with yeah, that's the one. So let's close this tab. Let's see what we have. Right. So format JS and format HTML makes sense. Is this like paren as abbreviation of parentheses or what? Yeah. And this is for, is it paren or parent? Is this for beautify? JS options. Command line. No space. No space. Doesn't even exist. Empty parent. Can we add a no in front then? Okay. I suppose it's correct. So, okay, now we can run np. Okay, let's first commit this thing. Now we can run npm format, npm run format. Which seems to have changed a few things. Configuration files. Untracked. Okay, so I can't see the difference because I didn't add it in the first place. Anyway, okay, I suppose we're happy with that. So now I have my script that should intercept and submit. And post the data. We're gonna see how later. So we don't need to reload the page, but I will do it anyway. We add an email. So yes, it prevented the action, but probably that's where we had the core issue. Console. What? Well, I don't can see the console. Let's see. Okay. At the dot join the waiting list. Nothing visible here. Seems nothing has happened. Let's delete that. Let's try once more. Oh. So it looks like everything was reloaded. Did I even import the file? Yes. Oh, the form name is not correct. That's why nothing works. The ID of the form, it was like this. We changed it. Okay, try once more. Okay, we need to do stuff slowly. We add an event lister on submit. Okay, as soon as this event is fired, let's just display an alert. Okay, whatever the message, doesn't matter. Just want to see, was this even intercepted? And no, because we're reloading the page.